Week 6, GPPMaster, Elite and Value Plays. Last week, I had a real nice week. I finished 4,235th in Millionaire Maker, and I wrote an article for all you guys on GPPMaster. I hope you saw it this week on the subtle difference between finishing 4,235 out of 256,000 and winning, double $60 on 20, and finishing first, and doing a little bit of comparison there. So you should read that article. Obviously, was close, cashed in several lineups, and hopefully this week we get even closer or get up there in the top in some of these big GPPs. Going to change up a little bit this video from just doing two at each position to kind of listing a bunch of names and kind of identifying the strongest and the value. And I apologize, Bill Enright, our lead expert here at GPPMaster and host of our programs, as you all know, Bill, is going to be mad because this video is going to run more than 5 minutes. Quarterback. Last week I had Brady, one lineup, like I said. I said he was going to be the chalk. He was. He delivered. I went contrarian. So everyone had him with Edelman and Gronk. I had him with Hogan and Bennett. And obviously those were the two best plays of the day for him. So that paid off. This week I'm going to use Brady lightly because I think Cincinnati's a tougher matchup. I think he's going to be the chalk again. But you can't fade him. So I'm going to use him one time, and I'm going to use him with Gronk and Edelman this week and go the opposite way, hoping other people shift to Hogan and to Bennett mostly. Russell Wilson, 6,900, mid-priced. Like him this week, especially with Baldwin. We'll come back to that at receiver. Osweiler, terrible quarterback. All right, I've been riding him a few weeks, but at one point he's going to throw 5 or 6 touchdowns to his star receivers. And he's at $5,400. He is dirt cheap. He leaves you room in other positions. And you're going to stack him with Hopkins. You're going to stack him with Fuller. If he's healthy, check Fuller's injury status, and potentially even a double stack there. Carr with Crabtree, 6,500. Like him this week against Kansas City. The Bears-Jaguars game is either going to be the lowest scoring game or a complete shootout. So you roll the dice on the shootout, you kind of do a double stack. So you go Bortles with Robinson and maybe Jeffrey or Meredith. Cameron Meredith, a low value play for the Bears with Kevin White out. Mariota finally hit for me last week. I'm going to go back to the well with him against Cleveland with Sharp at 6,100. And Eli, as bad as he's been, and it's been bad, he threw a touchdown pass to OBJ at the end of the game in Green Bay. Maybe, just maybe, that's a spark, because let's be clear. Eli can put up a monster game with that receiver set at any time. So I'll have at least one with Eli and OBJ. But I love Russell Wilson. Obviously, I like Rodgers and Nelson too. I meant to throw that one out. And I like the kind of Osweiler play this week, as we said. Running back, this is a week to spend up at running back. It's going to be expensive. People think Le'Veon Bell is going to be the chalk, but I actually think DeMarco Murray versus Cleveland will be the chalk. And I think Bell will be less owned because everyone jumps on Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and that crazy passing attack. But Miami has the 32nd run defense. I think Le'Veon Bell is just a monster, and this is a great week to have him and spend up for him, even though he's $7,900. If you want to stay away from Murray, who I think will be the chalk, and you could spend $3,400 and throw in Henry in there. Henry is starting to get more carries, sometimes gets some around the goal line, and in a game that they're blowing out Cleveland, he could get 20, 15 carries down the stretch. I like Gurley. I like McCoy against San Francisco. But again, if you want to deviate there and you go with Gillislee, the backup, he's going to get a bunch of carries. He gets some end zone carries, or red zone, 5 yards and in. And again, if they're beating San Francisco badly, he may get the ball down the stretch. He is sick, so keep an eye on him as well, injury-wise. I like Christine Michael against Atlanta this week a lot at 6,800, and Ryan Matthews, $4,900, especially in the DraftKings PPR format, is a very nice play here this week. Wide receiver. So I'm going to stack Edelman, as I said, with Brady. I'm going to stack Baldwin with Wilson. I'm going to use Baldwin in multiple lineups, not just in a stack. I'm going to stack Crabtree with Carr and probably use Crabtree in more lineups. I'm going to stack Sharp with Mariota. Probably just use Sharp there. That's it. Landry this week against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is bottom 3 pass defense. So Miami can throw the ball this week, and Landry is obviously the main target and gets a lot of PPR points in DraftKings. I like Jeremy Maclin against the Raiders. Raiders have, again, 32nd pass defense or 31st. Macklin is a safe bet there, as is Travis Kelce at tight end, which we'll come back to. And then I like Hopkins, as I said, and or Fuller with Osweiler. And then keep an eye on Perryman this week for Baltimore. Steve Smith and Mike Wallace are banged up. Perryman, $3,000, the lowest you can pretty much be. Deep play threat. If Smith or Wallace are out, Perryman steps in there and could be a target in a game where they have a pretty good matchup against the Giants. So just keep an eye on that one. Tight ends. Again, I like Travis Kelce against the Raiders. I like Zach Miller against the Jaguars if he's healthy. He's questionable, but he's been playing. Keep an eye on him, $3,800. And I like Jimmy Graham because he's been playing really, really well. And again, I like Russell Wilson. I like that Seattle passing game against Atlanta. So Jimmy Graham at $4,900. Defense, not a great week. Nothing jumps out at me. I'm going to look at the Raiders against the Chiefs. Despite my liking Macklin and Kelce, I also think the Raiders are playing well, and their defense is better than statistics right now. So Raiders at 2,600, and the Titans versus the Browns, kind of have to like that at 3,300. That will be the chalk, almost surely. If you believe the Bears-Jacksonville game is going to be low scoring, if you believe, then either of those defenses could work, and they're both pretty cheap, 2,300 and I think 2,700 for Jacksonville. But that game could go the other way, as we said, and be a shootout, surprisingly. The last one, Buffalo defense, most expensive against San Francisco. Just remember, you got the Colin Kaepernick factor there. We just don't know. New quarterback, motivated, that could completely go against you and go the other way. So for me, I'm staying away from the Bills defense. Read the article on the last week's comparison between 4, 2, 3, 5 place out of 256,000 and first. And let's bring it home this week. Keep an eye on that Osweiler thing. It's worth a shot. It may not pan out, but it's worth a shot.